I'm making the world's hardest game in order to prove that I am truly the world's greatest game dev. See, I want to make sure I can make a game that not even the greatest gamer could beat. But I'm not just going to slap you in a box and say, get over there, and you just can't because that's stupid. Unlike me. Instead, it's going to be entirely possible to beat without any glitches or anything, just incredibly tedious. But how are we going to make the hardest game? I mean, there have been a lot of games, and I don't think I could just make so many games that one happens to be the hardest out of all of the many hundreds of millions of games ever made. Everyone goes around saying that that one there, that's the hardest. But no. See, if we take something from all of these games, we can truly make it the hardest game ever made. This is the most common and easiest way to make a really difficult game. It simply consists of the player trying to get up, and failing and going all the way back down, right to the bottom. And there's absolutely no checkpoints, and if they do have them, well then that's not really the hardest game, is it? The biggest in this genre have to be getting over it, jumping, and most recently, only up. So I need to have checkpoints, difficult jumps, and I need to steal assets. These are games that rely on you platforming well and avoiding obstacles. They usually will have checkpoints, and things like turrets that are meant to keep you on your feet, so let's add a changing environment to that checklist. These games are ones that require incredible mastery of the game's controls and mechanics in order to beat ridiculously hard bosses. And in these games, usually even the simplest of fights can result in you getting utterly murdered, even once you've beaten the entire game. FromSoft, the company who you probably best know for Elden Ring, Dark Souls, and all their other things like that, are particularly notorious for making these sort of games. But there are others in this genre, like the incredibly popular indie game Hollow Knight. Okay, despite the name sounding weird, this makes sense, so just hear me out for this. These are games which are difficult, not because they're unfair or have ridiculously large hitboxes, but rather that they don't hold the player's hand whatsoever, and they don't put the player first in this world. See, most games will usually give the player a smaller hitbox so they don't take damage as easily, but these games, they will make your hitbox the size of your player, and make the enemy's hitbox the size of, well, the enemy. And fairly often, they will have difficult controls. Yeah, I'm basically only thinking of Flappy Bird. I don't know anything else on this list. But the point still stands. We need a good idea for the game, and I'm liking this idea where you have this telekinesis powers and you like pick up these things and you walk across them and you jump to other things, do some cool timing. That would be really cool, right? Yeah, that's nice, but like, let's remove telekinesis, because what's some telekinetic dude gonna do if I just punch him in the face? By that I mean I had hands to punch with. Yeah, but what is he gonna do if I jump onto a plane at Mach 12? Well, he doesn't have many options, does he? He's gonna die. By that I mean I removed hands in favour of, well, we'll get to that later. Well, that would be nice if you could wind up your jump, get a bit more control over it. So I added that. And what if you don't move mid-air? Yeah, I'll add that, why not? Why not whilst I'm at it? Just change the whole idea of the game. Not like there was an idea in the first place. Now I want the game to be one where you climb up to some point, but without special powers. For now. I don't know what I wrote that ages ago, I don't know what that means. If we set where the player plays to a specific width, it means we can add bouncing walls, and with the added bonus, we don't have to worry about a camera. Now we've got two difficult jumps, it's seeming to come along nicely. It's pretty fun to play, despite being weirdly difficult for what it is. We need more content for games, so let's build more stuff. I also want to add more variety and complexity to the game, so I designed a bounce platform for some more fun and complex jumps. We've actually got a fairly fun game, but there are some issues. Surprise, surprise. If the player falls on a platform in a certain way, they get completely stuck, and they cannot leave. They're just stuck. That'd make the game harder, but like, yeah, no. But unfortunately, though, nice it would sound to just fix that somehow. Nothing works, because for some reason there's some like gaps between physics. There'll be a box there and a box there, and they'll be floating between each other. I don't understand it. I don't know how to fix it. So let's just change it completely. Let's add some physics. Let's just make the box fall off like this. And luckily that should be really easy, right? No. Well, it sort of is, but no. So I need to just change something about ground detection, and okay, I mean, we're getting there, but I don't think that's what's supposed to happen. I mean, I'm no expert, but yeah, that doesn't look right. So if we split the player up into multiple parts, separate some stuff and a bit more stuff, and it works. Nice. And actually, somehow making it more difficult. Because when you fall, you don't just fall and stop. No. Keep tumbling all the way down. And it's quite funny. And to make that work, I use this new tool called Find. It's some AI thing, scrapes internet, ChatGPT, so it knows about the current stuff. Yeah. But it's better at finding obscure solutions because some of these things have only just been found. Yeah, and I think when making this, it's also a very important step of making games that when you're recording your process, you progress, you just record yourself watching YouTube for 20 minutes. I mean, that's a normal thing, right? That's a YouTube thing. Yeah. Let's build way more time lapse or something. Yeah, it's good. Look at that. Yeah. Yeah, and when I was writing the script, I thought it was important that you know that, look at these jumps. Look how difficult they are. I felt bad putting them in because I couldn't beat them, and the best game ever, so if I can't beat them, it's impossible. Time to add some interesting obstacles. I like the idea of a turret. Yeah, looks nice, doesn't it? So I spent a few days developing this turret that shoots at the player with a bunch of customizability. It can like do that, and it can do that when the player there. It looks at the player and it shoots. That should be 2 lines of code, and I spent 2 days doing it. Oh wait, to be fair though, the bullets were pretty difficult to make. I mean, look at this time lapse. That's not even the right thing, is it? And with these turrets, I could add more difficult things because that's what the game's really lacking. You know, difficult things. I mean, yeah. Puzzles, I didn't make this one, but like, you get a turret going bang and you have to get the player to jump onto the bullet and it goes bang, but I wasn't bothered to do that because like, bullets were difficult to make work, so ideas. Very good. I want to wrap up this version of the game. It's taken me too long for what it is, but I need to add an ending because otherwise it's impossible if the game has no ending. So I made a rocket with my absolutely wonderful art skills. Please, what Harvard, but art school, whatever that's called, or Oxford. I'm hiring the other way around. You're hiring me, yeah? And use it as the way to win the game, but just having you click it and go, ooh, you won. Nice job. That would be a bit boring, so I said, why don't you just explode? You know, I just like to imagine the player, they go there, wow, I finally won the game. Let's go. They go in and they're like, oh. Ah, this is very good. Look, the rocket's taking off very safely. What's that shuddering? Oh sh. Yeah, that's how the player probably feels. I feel like that. And I thought stats make things good, right? Yeah, you got a stats page, but it doesn't do anything. It's just got some set values, so don't know why I added that. But it looks good, doesn't it? Yeah. Does. And I had to make a logo, so I did this lovely thing. You got this box and you got this other box and you've got smaller box particle effect and got some text. I mean, that is innovation right there. And I also had to make a web download because of downloads. And yeah, that seems good enough to upload. Quality. So if you want to give it a go, it's available on itch.io. Links in the description, as sometimes. And you don't even have to download it because you press play and it works. And if you beat the game, post a video of you beating it and let me know. I'll make it harder so nobody beats it. It's going to be truly impossible by the time I'm done with this. Please subscribe! Was that a bit over dramatic?